Football is fundamentally about skill, talent, and ability. However, there is a far more heinous practice that underpins the very essence of the game. Unfortunately, thuggery and its practitioners are as much a part of football as the frenzy of tricks and goals that make the game so visually appealing. While normally contained within the confines of a tackle, this practice occasionally crosses the line between the football field and real life, causing the moral fiber of the game to be shaken to its core. From leg-breaking lunges to two-footed tackles, today we will be looking at the 3 craziest fouls ever committed in football. So let's get started. Number 3. Nigel de Jong on Xabi Alonso. Nigel de Jong's karate-style assault on Xabi Alonso of Spain was by far the worst foul ever committed in a World Cup final. And the most shocking aspect of the incident is that the Dutch enforcer was not sent off. Referee Howard Webb instead issued a yellow card because he didn't want the final match of the 2010 World Cup to end with a whimper as Holland's players simply lost their minds and descended into thuggery. In the end, 14 yellow cards were given out, 9 to Holland and 5 to Spain. This was more than double the previous record of 6 yellow cards in a World Cup final. In the end, Johnny Heitinga was sent off in extra time for getting a second yellow card, but how de Jong survived is unknown. Half an hour into the game, Alonso leaped ahead an aerial ball and was met with a jumping front kick directly to the chest from de Jong, who clearly had no intention of winning the ball as his eyes were fixed on Alonso the entire time. In defense of referee Webb, if he had sent off de Jong so early, the game could have become so lopsided in favor of Spain that it would have been comical. And the game had already established itself as a physical one, as 2 players from each team had been booked. By not sending off de Jong, Webb made sure that he would be remembered as the official who only gave a yellow card for a tackle that would have looked better in the UFC octagon than on a football field. Number 2. Axel Witsel on Marcin Wasilewski. Axel Witsel, the Belgian midfielder, isn't known for being a dirty player, which makes sense since he's more of an attacker than a defensive midfielder or a hard-hitting enforcer. In 2009, though, he committed one of the worst fouls in football history and almost certainly one of the worst injuries ever seen on the field. The foul was made against Polish international defender Marcin Wasilewski, who was playing for Standard Liège in a tough game against rivals Anderlecht. Wasilewski ran after the ball as it was going out of play on the left side of the field near the sideline. He was trying to keep the ball in play. As his right leg bent to go after the ball, Witsel came at full speed from the other side, jumped over the top, and landed with the full weight of his right boot on the lower leg. Wasilewski's leg was cleanly broken in 2, with the bottom half hanging off the top half. It was a very sickening sight. Unsurprisingly, Witsel received a straight red card and was then banned for 10 games. The ban was cut to 8 games, probably because Witsel felt bad about the tackle after it happened. It was such a bad challenge that fans of both Anderlecht and Poland sent Witsel death threats. Luckily for everyone, Wasilewski came back to play less than a year after the incident and played for another 9 seasons. Number 1. Ben Thatcher on Pedro Mendes. If you thought Nigel de Jong's X-rated tackle was the worst, think again. Even though de Jong's flying kick was bad, Ben Thatcher's attack on Pedro Mendes in a match between Manchester City and Portsmouth in 2006 was even worse. Thatcher already had a history of using his elbows. While playing for Wimbledon in 2000, he knocked out Sunderland midfielder Nicky Summerby with a hard blow. The referee didn't see what happened, but an investigation led to a 2-game ban. Worse was on the way. Now playing for Man City, Thatcher used his elbow in a violent way again. He was chasing a loose ball, but instead of trying to catch it, he slammed his elbow into the side of Portsmouth's Mendes' head, knocking him out and sending him tumbling into an advertising board on the side of the field. Mendes was hurt so badly that he had a seizure on the field, needed oxygen, and spent the night in the hospital. And for some reason, referee Dermot Gallagher didn't send Thatcher off. Instead, he gave Thatcher a yellow card, which led Matt Taylor of Portsmouth to say that you'd have to kill someone to get the red card from Gallagher. But Thatcher didn't get away without being punished. The foul was so bad that his own team banned him for 6 games and fined him 6 weeks' worth of pay. The FA went even further by giving Thatcher an 8-game ban and putting a 15-game ban for 2 years. It was one of the harshest punishments ever given to a player, but in this case, it was deserved because the foul is still one of the most shocking in Premier League history. While some fans and observers feel strongly that attacking players deserve more protection from hard-hitting defenders, plenty of others will argue that football is a contact sport, and sometimes accidents happen. Do you know of any other crazy football foul? Let us know in the comments. We will see you in our next video. Thanks for watching.